All right, this is part 4 of my 2023 NFL record predictions, and in this one we've got the NFC East, which might be the best division in football this year, so it's going to be a fun one to watch. But jumping right into it, starting out in 4th place, I've got the Washington Commanders finishing 7-10. As we know, Sam Howell is the starting quarterback for the first time, and I would say that they have a good team around him. The offensive weapons are really nice with Terry McLaurin, Jahan Dotson, Diami Brown, and Curtis Samuel. And the defense is really good. That pass rush may be one of, if not the best units in the league. Chase Young, Deron Payne, Montez Sweat, Jonathan Allen, and they just added to that secondary this offseason, drafting Emmanuel Forbes, who I really like coming out of Mississippi State. So, the Commanders have the potential to make something happen, but basically just like the Falcons, it's going to be depending on their quarterback's progression this season, of course, in this case, in Sam Howell. But just because of their schedule, and not really just their schedule, just the fact that they play the Giants, Cowboys, and Eagles 2 times each this year, I don't think that they're going to end up having a chance to compete for the top of this division, but the future can be bright if Sam Howell can prove to be a franchise quarterback. Moving into 3rd place, I've got the New York Giants finishing with the record of 9-8, but sneaking into the playoffs as the 7th seed in the NFC. I've seen a lot of people having the Giants missing the playoffs, but I think that they will be right back in the postseason like they were just last season. They probably were the most surprising team in the NFL other than the Seahawks, and they really just got better. They added Darren Waller and Jalen Hyatt as targets for Daniel Jones, who really surprised a lot of people also last year. And to the defense, Bobby Okereke, Isaiah Simmons, Deontay Banks. I mean, this team got much better. And the fact that they were a playoff team last year, if Daniel Jones can keep his performance up, maybe even improve it, this team can be something special. People forget that Brian Daboll won Coach of the Year last year as a first-year head coach, and he's still learning. So I'm a fan of this Giants team, not enough to have them competing with the Cowboys or Eagles in this division, but I think that the Giants can make some noise if they can get back to the postseason. Another thing is that, first of all, they compete. They play 2 games against the Giants and Cowboys each year. Even Washington gives them some problems sometimes. They play them twice, of course. And they do have a tough schedule other than their division also. I think they played the AFC East, I'm pretty sure. We know the division that is that. Those predictions will be coming soon in the next couple of days. But, the Giants can make some noise, like I said, if they can get back to the postseason, but they're not at that tier of Dallas or Philadelphia yet. And speaking of those 2 teams, getting into 2nd place, I've got the Cowboys finishing with the record of 11-6, the 5 seed in the NFC. I've seen a lot of people having the Cowboys finishing first in this division. I don't think that they're at that tier yet. On paper, they're a really good team, and I think that they do have enough if Philadelphia drops down from their Super Bowl, appearance last year. But I think that the Cowboys can make something happen. I know that they improved the team. I'll get to Philadelphia in a bit. Let's focus on the Cowboys, though. They brought in Stephon Gilmore and Brandon Cooks, big trades on both sides of the ball. And we know everything that happened with Prescott last year with the interception numbers, and I'm hoping that, if you're a Cowboys fan, you're praying that Prescott can lower those numbers. They fired Kellen Moore. They brought in Brian Scott. I'm forgetting his name right now, but hearing a lot of good things about him, and I think that he can be a good offensive coordinator for them. I don't think Kellen Moore was the problem, though. It's looking like Mike McCarthy wants to call his own play, so we'll see how that goes. I'm a big fan of that defense, of course, led by Micah Parsons and coached by Dan Quinn, who's a great defensive coordinator. But, of course, I moving into the Eagles quickly, I have them finishing first in the NFC with the record of 12-5. And the Cowboys are right there at 11-6. It's going to be between those 2 teams, obviously. I mean, unless New York or Washington comes out of nowhere, but that's not going to happen. And I only have them having a 1-game difference. So all it takes is one of those games between, the Cowboys and Eagles playing each other that could decide this division, basically. So those 2 games, where the Eagles and Cowboys play each other, they're going to be very important because they may determine the winner of this division. And, that goes a long way, getting home field advantage, potentially even getting a bye in the first round. But, I mean, the Eagles had a really crazy offseason. We know that they lost guys like TJ Edwards and Miles Sanders, but then they ended up trading for DeAndre Swift. They brought in Jalen Carter and Terrell Edmonds, and even making a trade that I really like for them, actually, bringing in Albert O, the tight end from the Broncos, to back up Dallas Goedert. I think that was a really good trade for them also. We'll see what Jalen Hurts is able to do this season. I'm expecting none less than a performance like he had last year, another MVP season. Maybe this year he actually wins MVP. Would love to see that for him. Of course, the whole thing with Tua, we'll see what happens with him. But um, yeah, man. I mean, the NFC East is going to be interesting. I basically have it finishing out the same way as last year. Eagles winning the division and also winning the conference. Cowboys finishing as the best wildcard team. Then the Giants sneaking into the playoffs. Washington getting close but not there yet. Um, but I'm excited, honestly. The team I'm excited to watch in this division is the Commanders. They kind of remind me of the Steelers, and I'm a big fan of the Steelers this year. We'll get to the AFC in a couple of days. Actually, the AFC North video might be released later today. One of the NFC videos are going to be coming out later. But I'm a fan of Sam Howell. I'm excited to see what he can do this year. And if he can progress this year, Washington can maybe sneak into into the conversation with New York for that third spot in the division, maybe even a playoff spot. But we'll see what happens. Like I said, the NFC East is probably the best division in football, probably competing with the AFC East. Maybe the NFC North also, but either way, that'll wrap up. Hope you guys enjoyed. Have a great day. Peace.